Welcome to SHIT2GRIT's NFL Picks segment, Signals, with medical, intuitive, and psychic Jason Windell. Jason has been picking NFL games professionally for decades. Here on Signals on SHIT2GRIT, his picks are all using only his psychic senses. Jason went 500 in his first week using this new method. It's brand new to him. He always picked from a knowledge place. Take a look at the football quadrant where Heather is manning last week's scores, and you'll see Heather take you through Jason's results. Now, Jason gets sensory signals. That's how he intuits. There may be other things that happen, but for now, he takes us through what he sees, what he hears, what he tastes, and what he smells. And he interprets those psychic hits into what his pick will be. He's going to do that for us live here each week for every pick except the Lions game. For Jason's Detroit Lions predictions, head over to our podcast, SHIT2GRIT, wherever you listen to podcasts. Heather, take him through the disclaimer, please.
NFL picks are made and presented for entertainment purposes only. SHIT2GRIT and its participants expressly assumes no responsibility or liability for any and all actions taken with these picks.
Thanks, Heather. And with that, start us off, David.
Right. Here we go. First game is Thursday night. We have the Vikings at Eagles.
Right, and no surprise that the Eagles are favored by 6. The over-under expected to be more of a shootout at 49.
Jason, what signals are you getting?
I'm getting some music playing in my head, and I like music. Really like this song called Philadelphia Freedom. So I think we're going to go with the Eagles in this game.
That's interesting. So you're going to shine the light on Philadelphia. Okay.
That's correct.
Now, right, from a knowledge standpoint, Jason, they're giving 6 Philadelphia. That seems, I mean, to me, to be a pretty fair spread, although Minnesota didn't play super well last week. What do you say about this game?
So my knowledge tells me that week 2 is always a week of corrections in the NFL. We saw what we did week 1. We need to go out and make those corrections. For Philadelphia, that's all on the offensive side of the ball. And I know Jalen Hurts, quarterback, was not very happy with his performance. I've got Philadelphia winning this game 33-13.
Oh, a dominating performance. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that answers the over-under question too. And by the way, we're going to keep rolling. Don't get too loud because your mic, it tends to have feedback, Jason.
Sure.
All right, on to our next one. David?
Okay, we're going into Sunday now.
Yep.
Jason, we have Green Bay Packers at Atlanta Falcons.
The Falcons are giving, let me think about this. If Green Bay, let me see. It's plus 1.5. So no, Green Bay's given. The road team's given the points here. And it's expected to be a low-scoring game, 40.5.
Jason, are you tuning into any signals?
So I will tell you that, especially last week, I got a lot of colors. I got some symbols. We're 2 for 2 with hearing music, which is really interesting to me.
It is interesting.
It is. And, I'll get into a little bit different thing that I'm doing this week to make some improvements, but I'll get into that later. The song I'm hearing is One Love by Bob Marley. And quarterback for the Green Bay Packers is Jordan Love. Got the Packers winning this game.
Okay, and over or under 40.5?
40.5. I'm liking the over in this game. Green Bay's going to cover that 1.5, and we're going over.
Okay, that sounds right to me too. Okay.
Yeah.
Any more knowledge stuff, or do we move on?
No, I think you're looking at 2 young quarterbacks, but Love is clearly above Desmond Ridder. It's going to come down to the offenses in this game, but
Makes
Green
sense.
Bay's got it.
Okay, David?
Okay, let's press on. The next game is Las Vegas Raiders at Buffalo Bills. Jason, you got any signals coming to you?
And by the way, Buffalo is giving 8.5 points. Probably the biggest spread this week. I haven't looked them over. And the over-under 47.5. Take it away. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. Oof. No music on this one, but I've got a player's face in my head, and he's angry. He's really, really angry. And his team's going to win this game pretty big, and that's Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. His face just popped in my head, just mad. They're going to go out, and they're going to win this game pretty big.
Do you know specifically what he's mad about, or are you just sensing an angry?
I'm sensing angry, but what I do know from the post-game news conference on Monday was that he took the loss, and he said it was all his fault, and he was very upset. So just
interesting.
Yeah, that face popped back up in my knowing here.
Okay, and do you take the over or the under? 47.5.
I'm going to take the under. I don't think Las Vegas is going to score a bunch of points in this game. I think Buffalo's going to.
I have the same exact belief. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Okay, on we go, David.
All right. Jason, we have Baltimore Ravens at Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati at home giving 3.5. Over under at 46.5.
Jason, are you channeling any signals?
Let me see what they're giving me on this one. Oh, I can tell you we're going to have a very close game. Forget which game it was last week, but I know we had the kind of like the tug of war. Which way we going with this one? All right, so I got to tell you, I wrote both teams down, and it happens to be the way it is on the sheet there. Baltimore on my left, Cincinnati on my right. That rope is going to the right. So we're going to take Cincinnati in a very close one.
Close one. So 3.5. So you're predicting them to win. They're going to cover, but they're probably going to win by 4 or 5 points.
From a knowledge standpoint, I'm going to tell you that Baltimore plus the 3.5 is the play. This is going to be a 1 or 2 point game. Maybe 3.
Got it.
But
got it. Okay, that's interesting. And 46.5 is the over-under. What do you have to say about that?
I think we're going to be really close on that as well. You could be looking at 24-23 game here. So it's going to be right on that number. Let's go over, but it's going to be really close to that.
Something went kind of funny with your mic. See if you can make an adjustment. Okay. And remember, you don't have to talk loud. It picks you up really well.
So, is that better?
Not much. You guys?
No. I can barely hear him.
Weird.
Try again?
How about now?
It's about the same.
Weird.
What about just holding your phone up? Are you on a phone?
I'm on a phone, but I have a microphone.
Oh, I was going to say you could just hold the phone up to your face if it works for you.
Well, I've got a microphone that plugs into my phone, so it's
this works now. Now you're working again. What happened?
I right in front of my face now.
Okay, and nice and quiet. Here we go.
All right,
David.
All right, thank you, Marshall. Next game is Indianapolis Colts at Houston Texans.
Now, speaking of close games, Jason, we've got a 1 point difference. The Colts are giving a point on the road, and the over-under a very low 40. Take us through this one.
Jason, what are you channeling? What kind of signals?
It's going to be a close game. There's no doubt. But it's coming through pretty clear. And one of my all-time favorite NFL quarterbacks is Andrew Luck, believe it or not, who played for the Indianapolis Colts. So I got an Andrew Luck reference from an old Twitter page that one of his fans ran, believe it or not. It's a long story, but it's very funny. So I'm going with the Colts in this one.
Is that what hit you just now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what hit me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very funny string of posts that this guy he called him Captain Andrew Luck, and pretend like he was a captain in the Civil War and would write letters based on the games that Indianapolis just played, like it was a battle and war. Very
interesting.
Funny. Yeah, so that's what hit me.
Okay. David?
All right, let's keep it moving. Next game is Kansas City Chiefs at Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, of course, our old pals on the defensive line there. Chris signed his agreement. I don't know if he'll be ready to play on Sunday. Do you think the Chiefs are going to bounce back? They're giving 3 at Jacksonville.
So obviously, I pay attention to the NFL schedule coming into this. However, I try and clear it so that I don't have the thoughts going into these predictions, so I can pick up signals. And this is going to be another game that's going to be very, very close. I think everyone thinks Kansas City is going to bounce back in this one. I like the animals coming through. I got a Jaguar. The knowledge says it's tough to pick against Kansas City, but Spirit says Jacksonville.
Makes sense. And they are at home.
Yeah.
And they are getting points at home. So now the over-under is at 51. What do you say to that?
It's really high.
It is.
From a knowledge standpoint, I don't think Kelsey's playing again this week, from what I'm hearing. So I think that Kansas City offense is going to struggle again. So I would take the under.
I think that's so smart. I completely agree with that. Okay.
All right, Jason, our next game is Chicago Bears at Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We're hoping that Tampa Bay keeps Chicago down. They're giving 3. The Buccaneers are giving 3. Over under 41.5.
Jason, what kind of signals are your guides giving you?
So, looks like I'm getting another player's image, another former player who I was a pretty big fan of. You may remember Mike Allstott, the fullback from Tampa Bay?
I sure do.
There you go.
He was there when that little guy was there. Who was their little running back?
I
played a long time. It started with an A. His first name, what was his name?
Oh, gee.
It was like he ran like a bowling ball. He played a long time.
Yeah, he did. And the name's going to escape me. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Me too. I'll look it up while you're going.
Yeah. But yeah, take Tampa. Psychically, Tampa would be the play here.
Okay. And 41.5, what do you say?
Yeah, I still think Tampa's going to win either way. That defense that Tampa's running against the Chicago Bears offense that is going to struggle to score, I would take the under again.
Work done. That's what I was thinking of. Work done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. David?
Okay, Marshall, thanks. Next game is LA Chargers at Tennessee Titans.
On the road, the Chargers are giving 3, and it's 45.5, the over-under. Now, you could probably tell by my voice I have a reaction to that. Take it away, Jason.
I want to know what kind of signals is he picking up, Marshall?
I'm sorry, David. Thank you.
It's pretty cool. They're taking me to a uniform reference. Either of you a fan of the color baby blue?
Well, there's baby blue in the Chargers uniform, but there's also blue in Tennessee.
LA Chargers have this alternative uniform where the uniforms are baby blue with yellow accents, and that's what I'm seeing. We're going to go with the Chargers on this one.
And the over-under is 45.5. What do you say to that?
I think you saw a typical Chargers offense last week putting up 34 points. So I don't think 45.5 is a stretch at all. I would take the over in this.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with you, but my sense is it's going to be an under. I don't know, but we'll see.
You very, very well could be right. I mean, there were a bunch of games that went under the last week, so.
Heather, do you have stats on how Jason did on the over-unders? Did you happen to collect those? And I know your mic is off, so if you can't talk, you can just type your answer when you get a chance. Okay, David, take us to the next one.
Here we go. The next game is New York Giants at Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, Giants giving 4 on the road. The over-under a paltry 39.5.
Jason, are your guides giving you any signals at all?
Yeah, they're giving me Chris Berman in my the former ESPN announcer in my head.
He could go and all the way.
You know what he's singing to me right now? G-Man.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's what I heard was him saying that. So I'm going with the Giants in this one.
Okay, and 39.5.
Boy, these offenses both looked terrible last week.
Yeah.
But I think there's a bounce back for the Giants coming here. So I think this could go just over.
It's interesting with them giving 4 on the road. I think they're looking to get well on the Cardinals. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Agree. And Marshall, you asked the question of how I did on the over-unders last week. I can tell you from my standpoint, I had myself going with 11 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie on the totals.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. I went under on a lot.
Okay. So now, David?
The next game we have is San Francisco 49ers at LA Rams.
Now, this is interesting because I thought the Rams had a pretty good game, but the Niners are giving 8 in Los Angeles. Giving 8 and a 44.5 over-under. What do you say to this one?
Jason, what signals are you tuning into?
Let's see what they're giving me. It's pretty interesting. They're going to a lot of. We start with music. Now I'm just getting a lot of players' faces. And Marshall, I think you and I have talked about this player before. One of my all-time favorites was Ronnie Lott.
We did talk about him just last week.
Yep. If I'm getting Ronnie Lott, San Francisco's winning this game.
Let me ask you something. You said you had players' faces. How did you know to zoom in on Lott versus the others?
They showed me his number first.
Got it.
So, and that classic white jersey, gold pants uniform.
You know, he used to. No, it wasn't him. It was Jerry Rice. He used to carry a player card of his tucked inside a little pocket inside his pants. When he would play it, he would take it out and say, "Wow, look at my hands. I have such soft hands." And he'd stick it back in. Okay, and we got 44.5 there. Now, without even asking you, I'm going to say take the over there, but you tell me.
No, I agree with you.
Okay.
I think San Francisco showed this week that they are a very good offense, along with an extremely good defense.
Yep. Okay.
All right, the next game is. Are you guys ready for the next game?
Yep.
It's the New York Jets at Dallas Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys, after the disastrous news, although it was Wilson, correct, that stepped in? It was disastrous news, but it all worked out. So Dallas is giving 7.5, and the over/under is 42. David?
Are you picking up any signals, Jason?
I am. And so it's like I said, we're on this string of players. Show me players, and number 11 for Dallas is really, really good. Micah Parsons. I've just got him flexing his arms up over his head. So we're gonna take Dallas on this one.
Let me ask you something, because David came late to the Lions party, and he is in love with Penei Sewell. And Parsons, if I'm correct, Jason, could have been the guy we picked that year, correct?
Correct.
Now, now that we have Jack Campbell, who do you say is the better pick? Because Parsons obviously is a phenom. Is the better pick Sewell? Or is the better pick Parsons?
I think over the long run, for the Lions, Sewell was the better pick.
No, cool. That's cool. Glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I told David I like building on the line. So
yep, and Parsons fits the Cowboys defense perfectly. I don't think he would be as good of a fit here, so I think Sewell was the right pick.
Okay, and what are we doing on the over/under? 42.
That Jets defense is no joke. So I think that's gonna be it's gonna be a lower scoring game. You can probably go the under on that.
Okay, David.
All right. The next game is the Washington Commanders at Denver Broncos.
I still don't love that name. I'm not used to the Commanders name.
Right.
It's the season and change, but okay. Denver's giving 3.5 at home. This is the lowest over/under of the week at a straight up 39.
Jason, are you channeling any type of signals?
Yep, I sure am. This is, again, just really, really interesting that they've taken to showing me players tonight. So I was meeting with a friend of ours earlier today, and he was talking about one of his all-time favorite players, who happened to be John Elway. So I think Denver's going to pull this one off at home.
Okay, and 39 is the over/under. What do you say?
I think that's pretty right on. You can go under on this one. It's going to be another very close game, like 20-17, 21-14, something like that. So I think you can go under.
Okay, and the last game of Sunday, not counting the Lions, David.
That would be New Orleans Saints at Carolina Panthers.
No, aren't we here? Here?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That would be. I'm sorry about that. Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots.
I watched the end of the Patriots game, and believe it or not, because I like Mac Jones, I was rooting for them at the end of the game. I don't know. They seem kind of in a mess. So Miami's giving 2.5 on the road, and the over/under is 47.5. So I look at that and I say, without him even asking you the intuitive stuff, I say they think Miami's going to just drop some hard numbers on New England. But let's see what your guys give you, David.
Jason, what signals are you channeling?
They take me a little bit different route this time, but my guys have a sense of humor. One of my favorite slapstick funny movies is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
You and Heather have that one in common for sure.
So, that was all about the Miami Dolphins, right? So we got to take Miami there.
Yes, it was. Okay. And on to Monday. Oh, no. What's 47.5? That's pretty high. What do you say to that one?
It is pretty high, but, I saw Philly put a bad Philly offense last week, put up 25 on New England. I think Miami can go much higher than that. So
I do
you
too.
can take the over. Yep.
I think they're going to wipe them out. I think they're going to wipe them out. We'll see.
I think so too.
Okay, on to Monday night.
Monday night we have New Orleans Saints at Carolina Panthers.
And New Orleans on the road giving 3, the over-under at 40. David?
Jason, are you channeling any signals?
There seems to be a little back and forth on this one too.
What's the back and what's the forth? The more you say out loud, the more I get to come into your world and find it interesting.
Absolutely. So I'm getting the logos for both teams. So the fleur-de-lis of New Orleans and the Panther for Carolina. And again, I keep the visiting team on the left and the home team on the right for the when it comes to close games. They're not giving me anything else. So it's just going to give me a little bit towards the Saints, a little bit towards the Panthers, and then it's going back and forth. But it's a weird signal. I'm a foodie. I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite dishes is crawfish etouffee. You can get that in New Orleans. So we're going to take New Orleans on this one.
Okay. And the over-under is 40.
Yeah, I think you can go the under on that one. Neither of these teams are huge scoring teams, and their defenses are their strong points. So,
yeah, and I talked on this upcoming podcast. I talk about Jamal Williams not being a lead back, but New Orleans has no choice but to make him their lead back right now. So
right, and they really, their offensive line is not good. So
yeah, okay. The final game for this session of Signals, David.
Final game is the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers.
Cleveland on the road, giving 2, over-unders at 40.
Jason, any signals here?
Yep, absolutely. One very quick one, and another player from my teenage years, I guess, Bernie Kosar.
Oh, I remember well.
that curly hair of his that popped into my head. So we're going to go Cleveland here.
Okay, great. And the over-under is 40. What do you say?
40. Did you see that Cleveland defense last week? You can take the under on this one.
Okay. The under. And I'm just peeking at... Okay, so Heather's got them all done. Heather, you run through this. And as I remind everybody, you can run through Jason's picks. As I remind everybody, remember, if you want Jason's prediction for the Lions-Seahawks game, which we're about to record in just a second, listen to Shit to Grit, available wherever you listen to podcasts. One last note. Jason is also a life-changing medical intuitive. He resolves medical issues using non-invasive, non-medical energetics. To work with Jason, I hope that's correct, Jason. I did check with you.
Yep.
To work with Jason as a medical intuitive, visit Jason Windell, WINDELL.com. That's it for this week's edition of the YouTube channel of Signals. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
For Jason, for David, for me, and for Heather, who's probably still on mute. We'll see you next week.